It's really good to see you all here, and those who have been here before, welcome. We're going to ask that you stand right now because we're going to sing a song and you'll join in. So let's stand. He's ready.
Good morning everybody and welcome again, as Marie said, and especially welcome to our visitors. Just an announcement, there is a video that's going to be showing out in the back room for any of the children. So take your children out now and that will be screening throughout the presentation today. Well, we hope you're going to enjoy and be challenged by what our presentation is today, which is how to achieve my goals. So what are goals? Well, the dictionary definition of a goal is an aim or purpose towards which effort is directed. There was an aim or purpose towards which effort is directed. So when we set ourselves a goal, it's the effort we invest in it that turns it from just an idea into an achievement. And most people don't intend to fail, but we plan to not achieve by the things we do not do. There's words of a song that sum it up like this. Everyone's got a dream they can follow or squander. You can do what you will with the days you are given. Seize the day. Seize whatever you can. because life slips away just like hourglass sand. Pray for grace from God's hand, then nothing will stand in your way. Seize the day.
job.
Well, you're not going to find one in the movie page. Try vacancies. You can read, can't you?
Well, hello, happy family.
Hi, Mum.
Oh, my feet hurt.
I would want to work in a shop all day.
You'll never work anyway.
Don't pick on your brother.
Stating the facts.
Yeah. Well, son, you've got to start somewhere. Look at your sister. Terry, pay attention when I'm talking to you. Now, your sister started as a typist, got promoted to a legal secretary. Now she's a personal assistant, the best I've ever had.
Well, I'm not here, I'm me, and I've got plans.
Don't you yell at me, young man. Now, these plans are going to be good.
Well, I've decided I'm going to be a famous guitarist.
The only thing you're going to be famous for is a couch potato.
So, I'm trying to make some sense of your brother. Go make me a cup of tea. Now, how do you plan to be a guitarist?
Well, I've always wanted to be a guitarist. I watched this awesome gig on TV last night, Van Halen.
Somehow, I don't think you're going to be an overnight sensation. I mean, you don't even have a guitar.
Well, in music in school, I was really, really good.
Yeah, well, you're not at school now. You're sitting on my couch, gathering dust.
Where's mine?
You know where the kitchen is?
You wait till I make it big, sister.
Now, you haven't told me about the guitar thing yet.
Well, I'm going to have music lessons.
Oh, yeah? And how do you propose to pay for these lessons?
Well, I thought with your second job we'd have enough money.
Well, you thought wrong, didn't you? That money's for a bigger house, not to support your career.
Are we really going to have a bigger house?
I hope so, dear.
Oh, Mum!
Oh, please.
Can I have a room way down the hallway from Mr. Snore?
Come on. Aren't we forgetting something? Millie, remember your son?
Oh, sorry, hon. Carry on.
Can you just buy me a guitar?
No.
What about for my birthday? Oh, Christmas present, please!
No. You have to learn to stand on your own 2 feet. Sure, Mr. Van Halen didn't ask his mother for a guitar. You need a job, son.
See, I can't work in an office like Miss Brainy over there, day in and day out. It's not what I want to do.
Well, it's not what any of us want to do.
What?
I mean, I'm saving up to go overseas for a year.
Well, that's news to me. Is there anything else you haven't told me? You're not pregnant as well. Just throw away your career, dear. We already have a son. We can't support his wife and kids with the basic guitar. Now this.
What wife and kids? I mean, you're losing it. All I'm trying to say is, I don't want to work in an office all day. It's not what I want to do.
I never asked you to work in an office. The problem here is that you don't really know what you want to do you?
Good morning. What do we say about that? Okay. Good morning once again. I've got a few announcements I'd like to make. Firstly, we'll take about tithes and offerings now, so if you're a visitor here with us, please don't feel obligated to put anything into the bag, just let it go past you. And those who are regular members here will put theirs in and... No, I'll just Stage fright, so we'll just carry on. Okay, right, if we can just do that now while I'm continuing on with the notices. We'll just pray for the offering as that's being done. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day, and just thank you for these people you've brought here with us. We just pray that the money that's given this morning will be used in the furtherance of your kingdom. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, notices. Rethinking the Church, Palmerston North, 23rd of February. Those of you who are planning to go to this need to see Rosella today. Where's Rosella? Out there somewhere? Okay. Now, Friday the 13th, part 12. The True Story. 6:30 next weekend, Sunday night. This is the Twilight Second Service. And questions for Vernon and Gaynor. Tonight, People's Choice. Those questions need to be in to Catherine. Vernon and Gaynor are going to be put on the spot again tonight by the sound of it. Okay, and please refer to your newsletter for any other notices. Right, now I'll put my other hat on now. Okay. Project 400. The building of the new church building. Okay, you've all heard about it by now. Obviously this has been up for a few seconds, so you've had a chance to have a read through it. Okay, who believes in the vision for the new building? Yeah. Right, amen. Okay, and who's willing to assist to see that vision fulfilled? Yeah. Okay, right. Okay, just a quick introduction. My name's Ross Ewins, and I'm going to be the project manager for the building of the church. And to assist me, Greg Mather, if you'd like to stand, and Mike Diamond, they come on board. And Pat, this is Austin. Pat, where's Pat? Over there. Pat, the four of us at this stage are going to be doing the coordination, but there's no way at all that we're going to be able to do it by ourselves. Therefore, what I've designed is an application form, just like any other job. We're going to ask you to apply for it. Okay? Just tell us what you can do, tell us who you are. Okay? If you've got a hammer, we need to know you've got a hammer. If you can swing it, that's even better. Okay? So these will be available for you after the service. Okay? You get rid of yourself, Mike, Greg, Pat. Okay? So just have a think about some of these things that I put up here this morning and just believe in that vision. Okay? Thank you.
Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow, we would go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money. Why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast and brag. All such boasting is evil. Anyone then who knows the good he ought to do and doesn't do it, sins. Last year, I set myself a goal. I am tired. I decided that I wanted to achieve the highest in our sixth form year. To do this meant that sometimes I had to do things that I didn't always want to do. I had to do homework or study instead of being with my friends. That's sort of fun. Now, sometimes I achieved my goal, and sometimes I was beaten. But I was still satisfied because I knew that I had done my best while still keeping balance in my life and still listening to God. To achieve our goals, we need to persevere. We need to make opportunities, to take opportunities, and to seize the day.
Shut up. Ben. Shut up.
squander. You can do what you will with the days you are given. I'm smoking right on the business of living. So I'll sing my songs on radio stage. You can laugh if you want, I'll tell it. Seize the day, seize forever, yeah. 'Cause life slips away just like that one said. Seize the day, pray for grace from God's hand, and nothing will stand in your way. Seize the day, seize forever, yeah. 'Cause life slips away just like that one said. Seize the day, pray for grace from God's hand, and nothing will stand in your way. Seize the day.
Let's all give them another wonderful clap. We talk about seizing the day. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Right? I mean, purity of song, some lovely singing here, a beautiful message, something that is special for us today. And I pray that out of this, that you might be able to seize the day, that your life might have some direction that maybe you've never seen before. Maybe you've been an achiever, but you know you can go beyond where you've gone. And today, that's what we want. See, most people live for the moment. Most people live for the now, focusing on their present experiences and linking them to the past as a means of making sense of their lives, of providing some knowable context for their thoughts and ideas. Most people don't see beyond now, they always look backwards. Most people don't see the day, seize the day. I want to ask you this question. Have you ever pondered what it would have been like if Edison hadn't have created the light bulb? You know, he made thousands of attempts before he succeeded. But he made it. And then look at it. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if Alexander Graham Bell had not invented the telephone?
Peaceful.
I was about to say that. And it would have been easier for a pastor, and it would be darn sight easier when you had teenage children, I'm sure. Or one that you may not have known who the inventor was, but William Booth, the great Salvation Army man, who was so perturbed about people working in matchstick factories with yellow sulphur and their jaws were dropping out. They would die by the time they were around their early 30s. And these people who were in these factories used to bring visitors in at night to look, and they used to turn the lights out and you could see these bodies glowing from the radioactivity. And they would die early. And William Booth said, "This is wrong." And so he determined to create a safety match. And he said to the factory owners, he said, "I want to do this thing. Will you help me?" They said no. They had good income from their visitors coming at night while people died. So William Booth, at his own expense, he couldn't do it himself, but he hired some scientists to work on developing another kind of match, and they found red sulphur. And we have our safety matches today. Have you ever imagined what it would have been like? Have you ever imagined what it would have been like without the Wilbur? Without the Wright brothers, and their flight? Have you ever wondered what it would be like? Have you ever wondered what it would be like today in terms of search and rescue in the sea if it hadn't have been for the jet boat designed by C.W. Hamilton. But the interesting thing was, he built the boat, but he never saw the value of it until an American came along one day and saw him use it sitting in the shed, and he took it out and saw him use it. And he said, "Do you realise what this could mean for the world?" And C.W. Hamilton decided to build his jets. Have you ever wondered what it would be like without Bill Gates? Tell you what, there would be a hot patch of peaceful. She teaches computer. But I tell you what, at least a third, and probably much more than that, maybe a half or more, of the people sitting here would have a harder and a different job. Maybe not even have a job. Have you ever wondered what it would have been like if Martin Luther King hadn't have said, "I have a dream"? He said this: "So I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and the frustration of the moment, I still have a dream. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the colour of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, and the rough places will be made plains, and the crooked ways will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together." This is our hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together. And he went on, "I have a dream." He was willing to die for it. But he achieved his goal. He did. It's fascinating. I don't know whether you've ever done this, but one of the things I like to do is to find people that have achieved great things in my eyes, and to try to get the opportunity to sit down and talk with them, try and figure out what goes on in their heads. It's fun. But there are some things that I've noticed about people like this. They're fascinating to talk to. Because when you start to ask them, how did you achieve the things that you've achieved, very often, most often, I've noticed one of the first things that happens, as soon as you ask them how they did it, their eyes stop being glazed, if they were already glazed. They come alive and they've got to tell their story. They've just got to tell their story. You see, they'll talk about the kinds of things they had to do. They'll talk about the people they talked with in the early days. They'll talk about outside sources. They talk about the fact that they tried this and they tried that, and this worked and that didn't work. I have a dream. I thought it was rather interesting that today Ross should get up with a vision sheet, and it was only while I was sitting there, I hadn't pre-thought this, I knew he was getting up, but as I was sitting there I thought, this is a dream that I had 12 years ago. And there's a stage happening here today. And that dream, and I was sitting there going, yes. Stephen looked at me. Right. Isn't it unreal that this should happen today? Yes. See, I have a dream. My dream's different to yours perhaps, but that's my dream. When you listen to people who are visionaries, people who set goals and achieve them, one of the things you will find about them is that they like to organise things. They like to perceive exactly what they want to do. They don't just sort of say, I have a dream, and not tell you what it's about. You know, Derek was that classic case of most people. He just lacked the confidence, in spite of the fact that he tried to portray it himself as a confident and an achieving person. He lacked the confidence to step out and do it. The way that visionaries organise their thoughts, organise their lives, they all tie up with what they do. They are people who are willing also, listen to this, to fail. They are people who are willing to fail. Willing to make mistakes. Henry Ford said this. He's the one who invented the Model A and triggered off a whole series of development in the car industry. He said this, failure, when he was asked about failures he'd made, failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Think about that. See, once you've failed, you know what you shouldn't have done. So you've ruled out one impossibility, and therefore you can think again. Most people who have never achieved goals do so for a few reasons, and I think there are three key reasons why. There are probably other multitude of little attachments, but there are three key things that I would like to touch on. I think the first one is the fear of failure. People have ideas and they fear that maybe it won't work out. Maybe I'll put a lot of effort into this and it won't be worth it. It's true. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't work out. But you will have learned something. The second one is the lack of commitment. They have a dream and a vision. I've talked with people over years and I'm a bit of an inventor. Now the only way those things happen, you know, my wife will tell you, is that I will get in the middle of the night if need be to make my ideas happen. I have a goal to solve a problem. I remember one young lady who was on stage here today, Catherine. She came to me and she said to me, she said, at work things were going bad because this machine that they had invented by somebody and the thing just wouldn't work properly. It was causing problems and people were going to lose their jobs. And she very kindly said to her boss, maybe my pastor can help you. At which he responded by saying, hey, what's he going to do? Come and pray for me. Well, actually, he put a few explicatives or so in there. But Catherine managed to persuade him it'd be worth talking with me, so I went and I talked with him. The first time I came in, Catherine had told me about this thing he had said, and so I went and I said to him, Evan, I've come to pray for you. Well, I was serious about that. He thought it was a joke. I was really serious about that. We sat down and we talked, and I had a dream, I had a bit of a vision, I had a goal, and I knew I wanted to solve their problem because I wanted to save Catherine's job. I wanted to save other people's job. I wanted God to be honoured. And I really wasn't particularly motivated by money with the thing. I could have charged the earth for it, and I didn't. You see, I had a goal because of other people who I felt deserved better. And I'd been dished out a bad deal by another person who'd invented the original machine. They'd made some terrible mistakes, but never mind. They tried again later on, I understand, with other things. And I had to be committed to that thing. I had to do that. If need be in the middle of the night. If need be not watching television. If need be whatever it was. And I did. But I need commitment. And the other thing that'll kill achieving goals, apart from lacking of commitment and a fear of failure, is that you die before you actually get the chance to finish it. It's about the only other thing I can think of that will really solidly stop you achieving your vision. Some of you know of the great guy who invented the Britain motorcycle, Britain himself. An amazing guy. I don't know whether you saw the television program on that man, because when he wanted tacks in his house, he wasn't happy to go and buy them off the shelf and stick them in his house. He had to make his own tacks. And his tacks looked like geese. Swans, sorry. And they worked differently to everybody else's. His house was built out of old stables. But you wouldn't have known they were old stables, but in his mind he had a goal and he achieved them. In his mind he knew he could make a motorbike faster than anybody else, and he did. He had other visions and dreams, and a multitude of them. He had things that he wanted to do, he wanted to achieve. An interesting thing about him was, though, that he took them one at a time. But the really interesting thing is his wife expressed recently on television one of the saddest things about Britain was that he never wrote some of the things down, and so when he died they went with him. So he never achieved some of his goals, even though he was a high achiever. There's a guy who you won't know of, a reverend they called Vance Nancy. He said this: failure can be divided into those who thought and never did, and into those who did and never thought. Think of that carefully. The reaction of the mother to Catherine here: are you pregnant? Why did she ask the question? Because Catherine was going overseas? Going to go overseas and get rid of the baby or something like that? Was that what was that the implied message here? I don't know, but that's the way that people often think, and those kinds of thoughts, those kinds of ways, those kinds of approaches to life, those kinds of negative assumptions are the things that will destroy a goal and a vision more than anything else. The blind lady, Helen Keller, said this: the most pathetic person in the world is someone who sees but has no vision. A blind lady said that. Someone who sees but has no vision. So I want to touch on how I should go about achieving goals, how we can go about achieving our goals. Howard Hendricks said this. He said, nothing is more common than unfulfilled potential.